There really was almost no talk of Amazon in the book. And, I kind of wonder, you're a Forbes or Wall Street Journal reporter. Mm-hmm. Amazon, has a stake in what the Wall Street Journal reports. Was there any pressure on like kind of leaving Amazon out of it, other than the obvious stuff?
No, there wasn't any pressure. I think we were more focused on what was going on with Tony. And so I think perhaps it was a miss on our part to not talk as much about the relationship between Amazon and Zappos, particularly in that last couple of years when there were a lot of questions about what was the relationship. But I think for us, the process of reporting this book, it took us about 2 years to report and write it, which is actually not that long. And so we really had to we had to choose where to shoot our shots. Right. And we decided to go all in on what was going on with Tony, and not so much with what was going on with Zappos and Amazon. It was only, so that was a choice that we made. It wasn't so much because of, we wanted to avoid talking about Amazon. It was just because we made a conscious decision to just report this aspect out. And if something else came along after the book came out that might shed more light on what was going on between Zappos and Amazon, then great.
Yeah. I guess, to be fair, you really didn't talk much about Zappos' business through that period too.
Right.
Yeah.
We were really just more focused on, what was going on with Tony and his struggles. Again, this Amazon thing is just top of mind for me right now, but again, based on our reporting, once Amazon was alerted to what was going on, to what was potentially going on with Tony's mental state, it seems like they were doing exactly that. They were talking to other folks within Zappos to try to get a sense of, what was the real story, to essentially corroborate what they had been told. Right. And so once they were able to corroborate it and get a better sense of really how bad the situation was, action was taken.
Well, so in that, the action that was taken was they removed him as CEO. The question is, did they owe Tony more than that? This is... Well,
if you think about it, the way that the resignation was written was that it was Tony's choice.
Yeah, of course, it always is. More time with his family. The question is, could Amazon, it's a corporation, I appreciate that, but clearly he had relationships there, and does the company owe more to him as an employee than to say, oh, you clearly are having, addiction issues and this sort of thing, it's time for you to go on somewhere else. You're someone else's problem, not ours.
I think that's a really good question that somebody should ask Amazon. Yeah. So the deal that he had with Amazon, they basically kept him on a pretty long leash. The deal was that, yes, we would acquire Zappos, but you're allowed to innovate and be in your little corner and be in your bubble and do really whatever it is that you wanted. Jeff Bezos, when the deal was announced, he made this video talking about why he decided to buy Zappos. And he was buying Zappos because of Tony's maniacal obsession with customer happiness. And Jeff Bezos, you can still look it up, it's on YouTube. He talks about how, it was under Tony, Alfred Lin, and Fred Mosler. These were the three leaders that were basically charting the new course as to how you operate customer success in the e-commerce marketplace. And Jeff Bezos was very impressed with what he saw in Tony's ideas and how you get customers to buy shoes, which before that point, shoes, that's like the one item that you have to try on before buying, right?
Trust me, I know.
Right, exactly. You, a lot of people would know. But Tony was able to get people to not only buy a pair of shoes they had never tried on, but he got them to buy 2 pairs, 3 pairs, 4 pairs, because of the return policy, which is that you can return whatever items you wanted at whatever time frame. There was no limit to when you could return it, which was just an idea that nobody had thought of up until that point. It's a very simple idea, but it's a genius idea.
It's a little bit of the Nordstrom's customer
right, exactly, which is where Fred Mosler came from, which was the other his other lieutenant. And so that was what Amazon was buying. That was what they were buying. And so after the acquisition happened, the deal was Zappos had a very long leash. They could innovate and experiment however way they wanted, and that was how it was kept up until the last year of Tony's life.
When they essentially replaced Tony, little bit of question about whether Tony resigned or was replaced?
Yes, from our reporting, the official line was that Tony resigned, but from what we understand, it got to a point, basically the executives at Amazon were not really told about what was going on with Tony up until the very last couple months. And when they understood what was happening, they had to take action. And so that's what our reporting showed.